With hundreds of exonerations over the past 2 decades, the evidence of mistakes and misconduct in the criminal justice system is clear. But the system and many of the people in it simply refuse to see, much less accept, the need to reform and improve on many different levels.
Time and time again, you see it from police officers who say, well, there's no chance that I would arrest anybody who's actually innocent, to the chief of police who says, well, no one's going to make a false confession in my interrogation room, and we're not going to do identification procedures in a way that's going to pick out the wrong way, to the prosecutor's office where they say, well, I trust my individual prosecutors. They're not going to go after people who are innocent. We can smell them when there's a problem in the case. To the judges who are sure that the cases that are coming into their courtrooms are right, up to the appellate courts who resist reversing convictions that are obviously shaky.
Professor David Moran is not only Associate Dean at Wayne State University's Law School, he's an experienced, successful appellate attorney who has watched his wrongly convicted clients walk out of prison.
I've represented 6 people who've been exonerated in Michigan without DNA. Through other means. And so these are all cases where we found new evidence. I represented them on appeal. We found new evidence strongly suggesting somebody else did it. And in each of these cases, the convictions were overturned and they weren't retried and they were set free. The people who get exonerated are really people who are very lucky in a giant lottery, because we all know that there are thousands and thousands more who are in prison who either don't have any DNA to test, the DNA may have been destroyed, or simply can't get someone to listen to them. There are many cases where we know the DNA is sitting there right now waiting to be tested, and it would exonerate somebody, but they have to get a lawyer to go do that for them, and most people who are in prison are poor, don't have any lawyers, and so they write letters and hope someone picks up one of the letters. And it's like a needle in a haystack, because people like me get dozens of letters every week, how do you find the right one? How do you find the case of the guy who actually is innocent? Of course, lots of guilty people say they're innocent. And so it's a real problem for the system to try and identify those people. That's why it's so important that the reforms be made earlier to prevent innocent people from being convicted in the first place. We do need to try to find the innocent people who have been convicted and help them out. But it would be much more effective, much better, if we could prevent them from getting convicted in the first place. Barry Scheck often compares this to a plane crash. If a plane crashes, a train derails, you set up a commission, you have a blue ribbon panel, they do a study to figure out what went wrong. A few jurisdictions have done that. Dallas County in Texas is now doing that. The prosecutor's office there has now agreed to review every case in which there's DNA to see if there might be some wrongful convictions.
And they asked Scheck to do that, didn't they?
Yeah, and that's right, and they asked Scheck to do that. A few other places have set up commissions. Illinois, most famously, under Governor Ryan, set up a commission. But for the most part, most states just say, well, mistakes happen, and nothing's done. There's no investigating of the crash. I think it's just going to take more and more of these high-profile cases. And in every one of these cases, when you have a DNA exoneration, it means that the real rapist or murderer or robber is still out there. And I think soon we're likely to have a case where we're going to find out that real rapist or murderer was doing more rapes and robberies or murders while the innocent person was sitting in jail. And I think that would help wake people up.